Welcome everybody to the Everything Show. I am your host Chess Treat, and before we begin, I'm gonna check to make sure my screen's recording. Oh, okay, it is. I should probably edit that out. Before we begin, quick shout out to 21 Done Puns for subscribing. Appreciate it. And remember, I post videos as often as I can, so be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and ring the bell to get notifications for all videos. And without further ado, let's begin. The NHL. If you know, it's one of the most underrated franchises of all North American sports. From left to right. Okay, I'm not actually going to read off all these teams. Oh, what the heck I am. The Anaheim Ducks. I'm going from top row down. Anaheim Ducks at the top left corner. So we're going to start at the top left corner, and then we're going to go right, and then we just start at the next row and go on. The Anaheim Ducks, Arizona Coyotes, Boston Bruins, Buffalo Sabres, Calgary Flames, Carolina Hurricanes, Chicago Blackhawks, Colorado Avalanche, Columbus Blue Jackets, Dallas Stars, Detroit Red Wings, Edmonton Oilers, Florida Panthers, LA Kings, Los Angeles Kings, Minnesota Wild, Montreal Canadiens, Nashville Predators, New Jersey Devils, New York Islanders, New York Rangers, Ottawa Senators, Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, San Jose Sharks, St. Louis Blues, Tampa Bay Lightning, Toronto Maple Leafs, Vancouver Canucks, Vegas Golden Knights, Washington Capitals, and the Winnipeg Jets. That's 31 teams, and there's be 32 teams coming up. Now, here we go. And if you know, because of this whole pandemic, it shut the league down for 4 months. And so we hope that the NHL would return. And it did. With a crazy idea. 24 teams in the playoffs. 8 teams to do a qualifying round to see who would get in to the Sweet 16, as I call it. And then the top 4 teams in the conference would battle it out to see who gets the number 1 seed. And so far, it's worked. I like the idea. Crazy upsets have happened, like the Canadiens beating the Penguins. If you were paying attention, the Canadiens were the bottom seed. And so were the Blackhawks, but beat the heavily favored Oilers in a playoff series. And the Boston Bruins, the President's Trophy winner, will not get the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. This is wacky, but I love it. Now I bet you're wondering, what if we always had a 24-team playoff? Well, enter New York Islanders head coach and living peanut M&M with facial hair, Barry Trotz. Trotz suggested, what if we have a permanent 24-team playoff? I mean, that's crazy. Well, let me tell you something. When you have 32 teams coming up, I think it's time for some upgrading, and I think it starts with the playoffs. But I can't talk about it here. We gotta talk about it in our segment. We need to talk. So here's how this works. Am I still recording? Okay, yeah, I am. Here's how this works. You would have the top 4 teams, if you see in the middle, the Boston Bruins, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Washington Capitals, the Philadelphia Flyers, the Dallas Stars, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the Colorado Avalanche, and the St. Louis Blues. They play in a round-robin series. Now, for those who don't know what a round-robin is, a round-robin is when you play an in-game tournament to, see who gets the better record. And the one with the best record gets the number 1 seed in the East and West. And second best gets the 2nd seed, and so on and so forth. So, for example, let's say Philadelphia gets the number 1 seed. They would play either Toronto or Columbus. If you look at the top right corner, that's what I'm pointing at. You can't see it. But that's how this would work. And then if Washington got the 2nd seed, they would play either New York or Florida. And then 3rd place, Tampa would play either Carolina or New York, or Boston would play either Pittsburgh or Montreal. And then after that, it would just go into typical playoff format, and then they would fight for the Stanley Cup. And that is not the actual playoff. That is a past Stanley Cup playoff that has already happened. All right. And you think I'm going to talk about NHL predictions? You would be mistaken. Such a spectacle deserves a video on its own. But there's a lot to take into consideration. The NHL has 82 regular season games. And you need to and in the playoffs, you need to win 16 games to win the Lord Stanley's Cup. But how would this work if you have 24 teams in the playoff? Would you cut the season in half, like the 41 games? Then the remaining games would be qualifying games / round robin games, and then the playoffs would begin? Or maybe, here's what I suggested. What if all the teams, 32 teams that we're going to have, what if all 32 teams enter the playoffs, and the one that gets eliminated first will get the number 1 seed? Of course, that's not going to happen, because that would completely mess up the NHL draft lottery, but it would be pretty cool, though. And I'm all for it, if it means Columbus can keep making the playoffs and keep breaking my heart. Alright, and at the end of every show, we're going to have a question. And at the end of the show, we have a question, okay? And I will give you enough time until the next video comes out before I reveal the answer. Whoever gets the answer first gets a shout out in my next video. So without further ado, here's the question. This NHL team has not changed their logo in over 60 years, and this team bullied their way to 2 Stanley Cups. Alright, once again, thank you for watching the Everything Show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Dan TDM is up next. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.